Ariel Helwani in New York City with UFC light heavyweight Brian Stann. And Brian, good to see you again. Congratulations on winning another Tequila Cazadores award. I believe this is your second one, correct?
It is. Today was the culmination award. I guess they've had 10 previous winners, and they chose me out of the 10 in that I've done the most for my charity, and then they donated $10,000 to my charity, which is Higher Heroes USA. And it's a real honor to be here. It's great. What is that charity about? Where does the money go to? Higher Heroes USA is the premier career placement and transition assistance program for our veterans. And basically what we try and do is we try and find our veterans jobs when their time serving our country is over. So this money is going to go towards the training of these veterans in resume writing, interview skills, the matching of their career interests with companies that we've recruited who say, I want to hire veterans. So it's going to go directly towards that, and it's a great cause.
All right, well, let's talk about your career now. The last time we saw you in action, tough loss against Phil Davis. I'm sure you've had time to digest the loss now. In your mind, what went wrong?
You know, what went wrong? Probably taking the fight in the first place is probably where to start best. But, you know, in all honesty, you know, I could have wrestled for the next 5 years, and Phil Davis could have sat on the couch, and I wasn't going to go out there and out-wrestle him. And, you know, I knew that going into the fight. It was a risk. It was a tough matchup for me. I've never looked at my fighting as a career. You know, I've looked at it as a challenge, and I guess if I step back in it, there were a lot of people advising me not to take that fight. It was just a wrong fight for me at the time. But
meaning a matchup, right? Bad matchup?
Yeah, meaning a bad matchup skill set-wise, and I just don't live my life that way. You know, I saw Phil as a big challenge, and a lot of people thought I was going to lose to him, so I wanted to give it my best shot. And, you know, Phil did an excellent job. He's a phenomenal athlete, and I think we're going to see big things from him.
Yeah, that was my next question. He seems to be sort of John Jones mold, this guy with just freakish amount of skills at a young age that has a very bright future. I'm guessing you would agree with that assessment.
I do agree, and, you know, most importantly, and more importantly, Phil's a good guy. And I think he's got a real level head on his shoulders, and I expect great things from him, and I was a fan of him. I'm a Pennsylvania guy, so I was a fan of him before we fought, and I'm a fan of him after, and I wish him the best of luck.
You had a big win on the Ultimate Fighter finale in December. How much in your mind was this a setback for you in your career?
You know, it's always a setback. You know, I had a 2-fight win streak going. I was looking to make it 3 in a row, which really would have catapulted me on to bigger fights. So I think this is a setback. It's going to be a setback that keeps me on the undercard. But in the end of all of it, I'm really evaluating some of the things I've been doing in my fight game. I've been putting on the gi every single day and working with Roberto Travin in Atlanta. I'm going to travel a little bit more for my training. And I may look at cutting some weight. I don't really cut a lot of weight to fight at 205, and I'm fighting a lot bigger guys, especially with these wrestlers coming in. So I may do some test cuts in the coming months to see if I can make 185 and try and go down there and just kind of, you know, reconfigure my whole career.
Is it possible that your next fight will be at 185?
It is possible.
Do you know when your next fight will be just yet?
The latest I've gotten is going to be July or August. As of right now, the UFC is full all the way through June, so I have some time, which is great. I have a few injuries. Fighting 3 times in 6 months is tough on the body, so I'm healing a few injuries while I'm still doing a lot of technical training, and hopefully I find out within the next 3 weeks.
Is there someone in the middleweight division that you think would be a good opponent to sort of introduce yourself to that division?
No, I don't care. I mean, I've fought 2 wrestlers in a row. All I want for this next fight is someone who's going to stand and trade with me. I want to put on a great show for the fans, and I want a slugfest in my next fights. That's pretty much what I'll be looking for, whether it's at light heavyweight or middleweight.
What is the one point of your overall game that you think you need to improve on the most? Is it still the groundwork?
It is. You know, my ground game has really made a lot of advancements. I think Phil Davis made it look worse than it really is just because he's such a skilled athlete. You know, for me, the biggest thing is still going to be my technical submission game, and then my wrestling. You know, I don't come from a wrestling background. It takes years to get really proficient at that sport. I have a great wrestling coach in Harry Lester, who is a 2-time world medalist, and we're hitting the basics hard to make me a better wrestler. So I think a year from now, I will definitely be a much better wrestler than I am today.
All right, well, we look forward to that evolution and possibly your debut at 185. Thank you very much for the time, Brian.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.